Are you chasing gains with endless sets and grueling hours in the gym only to feel exhausted, overtrained, and plateaued? What if I told you the secret to consistent muscle growth and strength isn't doing more, but doing the absolute minimum required to stimulate progress? Welcome to Swole Journal, where your body is the experiment and your journal is the lab. Today, we're dissecting a fundamental principle in effective training: minimum effective volume. Minimum effective volume, or MEV, isn't about laziness. It's about intelligent training. It's the lowest amount of training volume you need to perform to elicit a noticeable adaptive response from your muscles. Any less, and you won't stimulate growth. Any more, and you risk accumulating unnecessary fatigue, impeding recovery, and potentially hindering progress. Think of it like a dose-response relationship for muscle hypertrophy. There's a threshold. To truly understand MEV, we need to talk about muscle physiology. Muscle growth or hypertrophy primarily occurs through two main pathways: mechanical tension and metabolic stress. Mechanical tension is the primary driver, generated when muscle fibers are subjected to sufficient load under stretch. Metabolic stress involves the accumulation of metabolites like lactate and hydrogen ions, which also contribute to the hypertrophic signal. For our muscles to grow stronger or larger, they need to be challenged beyond their current capabilities. This challenge activates intracellular signaling pathways, such as the mTOR pathway, leading to increased protein synthesis and ultimately muscle accretion. Crucially, not all reps or sets are created equal. The reps that truly matter are the effective reps, those performed toward the end of a set, close to muscular failure. These are the reps where nearly all available motor units, including the high threshold, fast twitch muscle fibers with the greatest growth potential, are recruited and maximally activated. Early reps in a light set might feel like work, but they often don't recruit the highest threshold motor units necessary for a significant hypertrophic stimulus. Your body is remarkably efficient. Once it receives a clear signal for adaptation, that crucial minimum effective volume, it begins the repair and growth process. Piling on more sets after that point doesn't necessarily amplify the signal proportionally. Instead, it adds to your systemic fatigue, prolongs recovery, and taps into your finite adaptive resources without providing a substantially greater growth stimulus. This is where many lifters go wrong. They equate more volume with more growth, ignoring the law of diminishing returns. So, how do we identify our MEV? It's highly individual and depends on several factors: training experience, genetics, recovery capabilities, nutrition, and sleep. A novice lifter might need very little volume to grow because almost any novel stimulus is effective. An advanced lifter, however, with years of training under their belt, will likely require a higher MEV due to their body's increased resistance to adaptation. The key is to start conservatively and observe your body's response. Let's get practical with some numbers. For most compound movements aimed at hypertrophy, like squats, deadlifts, presses, and rows, a good starting point for your MEV might be around 6 to 9 challenging sets per major muscle group per week. These sets should be taken close to failure, typically 1 to 3 reps in reserve, RIR. For isolation exercises, you might add a few more sets, perhaps reaching 8-12 sets. Remember, these are challenging sets where every rep counts. Consider a practical example for chest training. Instead of doing 5 exercises with 4 sets each, leading to 20 sets of chest work, an MEV approach might look like this. Exercise 1, barbell bench press. Perform 3 sets of 5-8 repetitions, 1-2 RIR, with a 2-second eccentric phase. Rest 2-3 minutes between sets. Exercise 2, incline dumbbell press. Perform 3 sets of 8-12 repetitions, 1-2 RIR, controlling the negative. Rest 120 seconds. Exercise 3, pec deck flies. Perform 2 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions, 0 to 1 RIR, focusing on a strong contraction. Rest 60-90 seconds. This totals 8 working sets for chest in that session. If you hit chest twice a week, that's 16 sets, well within a productive hypertrophy range for many lifters, especially if those sets are genuinely effective. The focus shifts from mind-numbing quantity to laser-focused quality. Tempo matters. The eccentric or lowering phase should be controlled, typically lasting 2 to 3 seconds, to maximize time under tension and mechanical stress. The concentric or lifting phase should be explosive but still controlled. Rest periods should be adequate to allow for performance on subsequent sets. Generally 2 to 3 minutes for compound strength focused work and 60-120 seconds for hypertrophy focused work. The beauty of MEV is that it leaves room for progression. Once your body adapts to your current MEV and progress stalls, you then gradually increase volume, perhaps by adding one more set to an exercise or an additional exercise, until you again reach a point of adaptation. This incremental increase in volume, rather than starting with excessive volume, allows you to milk every bit of progress from the minimum stimulus. This is called progressive overload within a sustainable framework. Your journal is your lab. Track your sets, reps, load, RIR, and how you feel. Are you recovering well? Are you consistently adding weight or reps? If yes, you're hitting your MEV. If you're constantly tired, strength is decreasing, or you're feeling run down, you might be exceeding your maximum recoverable volume, or MRV, and need to dial back. Finding your MEV is an ongoing experiment. Listen to your body, analyze your data, and make informed adjustments. Remember, the goal is not to exhaust yourself, but to stimulate growth. By focusing on minimum effective volume, you'll spend less time in the gym, recover more fully, and make consistent, sustainable gains. Your body will thank you, and your strength will soar. If this helped, subscribe to Swole Journal and start tracking what actually works.